Welcome to the Narrowboat at Jamesby. Hope you're very well. Thanks for joining me. Well, it's Sunday morning. It's lovely weather out here today, although it is going to be raining on Monday. So I've basically got today to get the undercoat on, although this is the amount of undercoat I've got, so also it's not much. So it's clearly not enough to do the whole boat, but I'm hoping it's going to be enough to do the gunnels and put a second coat on the back part here, because that's where the solar panels are going to be, and the stern. So I'm hoping I've got enough for that, but I'm not going to be able to do the roof. The other reason I can't do the roof today is because I put on that thick coat of red oxide. I did put a lot of it on to cover up some of those bits, so that hasn't that's going to need another day to go off. Obviously it's nice weather today, so I'll probably leave that and I'll do that next weekend now. Not going to get a chance to do it, and I haven't got enough paint. Didn't get to the chandlery yesterday anyway, so it's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to put, but this is up on the roof there where the flue was, where the old flue was, that needs some repairing. So I'm going in some of that, what's it called, big boy body filler again. And then I can sand this back kind of a bit later on, a bit more red oxide on it. I'm using these new filling blades, so you could see how these go. Right, let's get outside. It's nice weather. Right, catch you in a bit. Tea. Okay, so this is where the old flue was. I didn't make up enough of this. It's quite a big depression in there. So it doesn't really matter about the finish, obviously. What matters is that it covers the whole area, so that when I sand it back, it'll be all right. Yeah, that should do. Right, so slight change of plan. I'm thinking now, I just walked over to the boat, and this green is really, really awful. It's a kind of a throwback to how the boat used to look. And at the moment, this area now from that approach just looks dreadful. This bit here doesn't help, where obviously there's some kind of dial or something, or some kind of control unit and a cable going up. Now, it kind of poses a few problems. So I guess one of the reasons I've been putting this area off is because, well, it's dreadful. The only advantage is the fact that this overhangs by kind of 6 inches or so. So there doesn't seem to be any damage. There's a few kind of holes and stuff up here, but there doesn't seem to be any water penetration going into the boat, obviously, because it's covered. So I don't have to kind of kill myself in making this perfect, but I do need to massively improve the look of it. It doesn't need red oxiding, but it will need some undercoat going on top of this top coat. But there's some little nicks like that which are all going to need to be sanded back. Then, I mean, the lock is pretty horrific, but the doors are bad. They're in really bad condition. There's a massive hole here These little holes I'll be able to fill in and repair. All of these screw holes you can see need to be redone because they're all sitting flush, and therefore you can see it. All the filler in the world's not going to cover that. These hinges are dreadful. They're just so badly done. So I think the doors are obviously going to need some attention, and on the inside of them, unfortunately, as much as I could, well, this artwork, castles will stay, but the panels are going to have to go. They're crap. They're all falling apart. It's just plywood. They've been on for years, but that is certainly not a job for now. That'll be a job for maybe later on in the summer or something. They don't, you know, as long as, you know, the doors work, so as long as they're secure, that's fine. But a job I can get on with now is kind of smartening up this area and then using some of the Craftsmaster grey to as an undercoat for it, and I can do the top of that as well at the same time. Obviously this has already been undercoated, but the rest of it can be done, and that will make this area look a lot more presentable. And then the next thing I need to crack on with is these railings up here. I mean, obviously, you know, I can sand them back and stuff, and I think that'll be the first port of call, is to sand them back. These are screwed into some steel runners going all the way around, and depending on the level of the floor and other things, obviously these are going to be required, but whether these are going to be benches or something like that, I don't know yet. So for the time being, I'm just going to get all the green paint off it, smarten them up, and maybe I don't know, put something on it, put some kind of varnish or something like that, just to make it look half presentable. But yeah, that's the name of the game for today, is to make this area look, as I said, kind of half presentable. The main reason is because I do have a cover for it, so if it started raining, which it looks like it might do, then I can cover it up. But if I started painting the sides or the gunnels, I'm not going to be able to cover it up at all, and it's just going to ruin the paint and the paint job. And it's expensive stuff, this Craftsmaster, so I don't want to waste any and get it wrong. So I'm just going to leave the outside and the gunnels alone for the day, for the time being, and focus on this area here. I'm going to keep this lock on. As I said, I'll redo the doors later on in the summer, but for the time being, sand it back, get all the paint off it, and then make it look good. Right, well, I've taken down the comms mast to do this. I'm going to fill in, there's a little hole over there, there's a little hole here which are really visible and they're never going to be used. So there's a couple other little holes further down which are not visible and may well be used, so I'm going to leave them as they are. But that one and that one I'm going to fill in. And in terms of high visible areas, so I've kind of trimmed back, just using the multi-tool, some of this flaked paint. That's okay, that can all come off quite fine. There's a few bits here though, that's obviously one of those little kind of cleat things for the rain cover. That's those two bits. There's some bobbly bits there that can come out. There's a couple of bits there and there which can come down. Apart from that though, I think that's the only kind of grinding I've got to do with the angle grinder. Obviously the door, well, it's going to be, the actual probably metal won't be replaced, but the innards will be, and therefore when that's done I'll replace the doors. But for the time being there's not much I can do about that, but I can see if I can get into some of those little bits. So yeah, a couple of bits there, and that's it. There's two holes which are going to need filling in. The rest of the little bits, oh yeah, they're going to need to be filled in as well, otherwise you're going to be able to see them. Okay, there's a few little holes, but there's two big ones that need to be sorted. I was thinking about maybe leaving them to feed cables through, but the reality is I'm never going to feed a cable into that spot there. It's just going to be so visible. So yeah, don't have to worry about that. Can I get in there? Yep. But that's going to set my face on fire if I do it that way. Well, that's all right. Face is still intact. I'll take that. I can get the rest of that off with a sander. Right, so I've cleared the area and sanded it down, ground some bits off and keyed it up so I can put on the undercoat. Okay, so there's been a few places where I have put in some of that car body filler to just to repair a few holes. So just waiting for that to go off before I put on the undercoat on here. But I'm pretty glad I didn't do it on the gunnels, because about 2 hours ago it absolutely pelted it down. So that worked out all right. So I've just been looking at this paint though. This is weird, right? So Craftsmaster are possibly the UK's lead, or they call themselves the UK's leading paint company. They are extremely highly regarded. They do automobile paint, narrowboat paints, engine paints. It's all kind of highly specialist stuff, and obviously it's really expensive. So I was just looking at the data sheet on this, and then I started reading the instructions on the side, and this is just crazy. There's a typo on here. I can't really read it to you because it sounds like the word. Basically, they've written thing instead of thin. So it says thin if necessary when brushing with Craftsmaster, PPA additive, or thing with synthetic thinners for spraying. So I have brought this to their attention via an email today, and I don't know if it appears on all of their paint or whether it's just the high build undercoat that I've got, but I presume it's just this lot. But it's quite, anyway, so I have, as I said, I brought it to their attention, and I've said that I'm about to buy about 15 gallons of their undercoat and top coat, and maybe in exchange for me bringing this error to their attention, they could let me have a few gallons of it. So we'll see what happens there, but got a few minutes left to wait for this just to go off. Sun's out, so I think it should be all right to get this side done. It's going to make a massive difference. It's really irked me, this green on here. Same with the railing up here. I'm going to see if I can take that down as well. I don't think it's going to look very good in just in timber either, so that's going to have to be painted. But as I said, I don't know if this wants to be as it is, just as a handrail basically, or whether I want to make it into some kind of seat or like bench that you can sit on. When I watch, what channel is it? Minimalist. When he's sitting on the back of his boat, he's just got himself a really comfy position, it looks like, and I'd like the same. So that is something I'm going to have to have a look at. Crazy. Well, I'm happy with how that's turned out. It's I think it definitely needs to be a dark colour, the back wall there, that's for sure. I think it actually looked quite good in that green, but just as it was dark, not because it was green. But it certainly looks better now. It needs a bit of detail. I'm gonna have to put a control unit up on the wall, or kind of around there. I'll bring those hinges to life a bit, but yeah, I'm happy with that. I can go and get myself something to eat and then watch Line of Duty. And thanks for watching. Hope you're well. Take care. Bye bye.